we can choose to associate button number 1 to a single key action. Now we're going to go back and do that in just a second. Okay, so let's fire up Garageband. Now, the first thing that I'm going to show you is if we go ahead and create an entirely new song on here. So we're going to create a new music project. And now this part is important. So for those of you who know your music theory, we're going to go ahead and select the key of E, E minor, and we can leave the time signature and the beats per minute. And we'll go ahead and put this on the desktop as Garage Hero Test. Alright, now what we're going to do right here is we are going to take advantage of the fact that GarageBand is smart enough that it can actually go ahead and take some of these inputs that we put in and assign it to correct keys. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to change this input from a grand piano to an electric guitar, and that will allow our MIDI input to sound more like a guitar. Now, the thing that we're going to make use of with Gamepad Companion is the useful feature on GarageBand called musical typing, which is available right here. As you can see, musical typing turns your keyboard into a musical input device. You can see that. Now what we're going to do here is go ahead and get a handle on what note this is. So this is an E. This is the second E. And if you know anything about music theory, you know that there are certain, again, notes in the E minor scale. One of those notes is E. Another of those notes is the minor third, which is G. And together, they are the E minor chord. Like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and map all the notes on the E minor scale to different keys on the Guitar Hero guitar. Now those notes happen to be, for our purposes, this note. What we're going to do is go ahead into here, select Gamepad Companion. Now I'm going to press the green button on my Guitar Hero controller right now, and as you can see, when I do that, it is going to select button 1 for me. So I'll press the red button, it'll select button 2, the green button is button 1. Just by pressing the green button on my Guitar Hero controller, I can select the appropriate element that I want to change. So as you can see, it's currently not mapped to a key, but the key that we want it mapped to is the root note in the scale, which is the note E, which is activated by the keyboard key D. So we'll go ahead, switch back into System Preferences, click green to map us to button 1, say map it to a single key, and then click D. And now as you can see right here, like I said, we've mapped button 1, current D mapping, a single key action to the key of D. And now, when we go ahead and start this, and I press, this is me pressing the key on the keyboard. This is me pressing the green button on my Guitar Hero controller. See? So now we've activated the musical typing feature through the Guitar Hero controller. Now we'll quickly go back. I've already figured out which notes on here I want to map, which notes are part of the E minor scale I'm going to put on here. So I'll just go ahead and do that quickly. Go ahead and click the red button and map it to the G, the yellow button, and map it to the H, blue button, map it to the J, and the orange button, map it to the L. And once I do that, I can play a couple different notes on the scale. And by pressing multiple once, I can play chords. But that's not all the functionality that I have on my Guitar Hero controller, since I don't need to strum to activate any of these notes, I can take the strumming button and map it to another purpose. So, for instance, when I press, I'll make it so that when I press down, it maps it to the X key, and when I press up, it maps it to the Z key, so that now, by pressing those buttons, I can affect the octaves. And I'll go ahead and take the whammy bar, press the whammy bar, and you can see that this is the X rotation element, which I'm then going to map to multiple keys. The maximum key value that I'm going to map is 6, and the minimum is 3. Now, when we go back to here, what you'll see is we've got the 6, which is modulation, and the 3, which turns off modulation, which means that when it's at a maximum depressed value, it'll go to 6, and when it's at a minimum, it will shut off and go to 3. So that when I go back and start here, I'll have one note, D, and then when I depress the whammy bar, it will activate the modulation. You can see the 6 is activated. See? If I press it down, it goes from 3 to 6, 3 to 6. This is useful. This is cool to a certain extent, but where it comes really useful is when you combine it with the Magic Garageband feature. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a new Magic Garageband track. Stop this first. We'll create a new Magic Garageband. Now I'll need to go ahead, delete this since this is a real instrument track, and I'm going to create a new track. Software instrument because it's a MIDI input, and I'm going to pick a guitar. I'll pick the big electric lead, which comes built in. And now the other thing that I'm going to have to do is this song, as you can see when I select this, right, the song features right here, it's not in the key of E minor, it's in the key of A flat major. That's okay, we can change that really easily by just selecting E minor. And now my pre-mapped keys, the magic of GarageBand is that all of these songs are going to be changed so that they will now play, instead of A flat major, they'll play in E minor, which means that all of the notes that I programmed my keys to work will be part of the appropriate scale. So let's go ahead and start this. We'll start noodling around.